Things Muslim. Women don't want you to know. Have you ever wondered what life is really like for Muslim women? It's nothing like the movies or the memes you see on the internet. Their reality is a blend of traditions, challenges, and resilience that goes far beyond the stereotypes. And guess what? It's worth a closer and fairer look. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel because this topic will blow your mind. Let's start with clothing. Muslim women's attire is like a book full of culture and faith. Hijab, burqa, chador. These garments not only cover the body, but also hold deep meanings that vary from place to place. However, in many countries, these clothes are not just a choice. Not following dress codes can lead to severe consequences, from fines to imprisonment, or even physical violence. It's hard to imagine, but this is still a reality in countries like Afghanistan and Iran. The freedom to wear what you want becomes a much more complex topic in this context, doesn't it? Would you try wearing a hijab for just one day to understand the experience better? Comment below. Another controversial issue is marriage. In some cases, women do not have the freedom to choose who they'll spend their lives with. Forced marriages are still prevalent in certain communities, where many girls are taken out of school early to get married. On the bright side, not all marriages follow this trend. Many women have fought for the right to choose their own destiny, but while these changes are happening, others still face the harsh reality of having their choices ignored. And there's more. Imagine needing permission from a man to do basic things like traveling or working. Sounds like something out of a dystopian novel, right? But for many Muslim women, this is still a reality. Despite advances, like women in Saudi Arabia finally being allowed to drive, there are still absurd restrictions limiting their freedom. It's hard not to think, seriously, this still exists? That's why sharing this information is so important. Speaking of which, share this video with a friend who needs to learn more about these issues. Group 2. But it's not all strict rules and prohibitions. Did you know that many Muslim women have amazing beauty routines? A great example is the use of kohl, that dark eyeliner applied around the eyes, which not only creates a striking look, but also has historical and religious significance. Another fascinating topic is contraceptives. While the subject is taboo in some regions, contraception methods are used, with cultural and religious interpretations varying widely. Complex, isn't it? Now, you might be wondering, what about daily life? Beyond clothing and behavior norms, Muslim women balance faith, culture, and an ongoing fight for recognition and equality. From following traditions like wudu, a ritual purification practice, to breaking barriers in professional fields, they defy stereotypes while striving for more representation in the world. So, the next time you hear generalizations about Muslim women, remember, each one has a unique story filled with strength and meaning. And, of course, if you want more content like this, subscribe to the channel now, like, comment, and help us spread knowledge. After all, learning never hurts, right? This deeper look into the lives of Muslim women only reinforces how crucial it is to understand their context before jumping to conclusions. When it comes to Islamic culture, each country has its own particularities. In Egypt, for instance, wearing a hijab is common but not mandatory. In Iran, there are morality patrols enforcing dress codes. Fascinating, isn't it? Imagine living with the possibility that someone could approach you at any moment to check your clothing. Before we wrap this up, have you already subscribed to the channel? If not, hit that button and stay tuned for more informative videos just like this one. Another important point to address is education. In many predominantly Muslim regions, there is a continuous effort to educate women and promote equal opportunities. Countries like the United Arab Emirates have heavily invested in female education, and the number of women with university degrees already surpasses that of men. At the same time, there are places like Afghanistan where girls are prohibited from attending schools beyond certain levels. This contrast serves as a reminder of how diverse the experiences of these women can be. It makes you think, right? Education changes lives, but unfortunately, not everyone has access to it. We also cannot ignore the role of religion in the daily lives of these women. Islam plays a central role in how they live, from the simplest moments to the most important decisions. Praying 5 times a day structures their routines, embodying a practice that combines faith, discipline, and spirituality. Did you know that during Ramadan, in addition to fasting, many women take on significant roles in organizing meals and family gatherings? It's intense work that blends devotion and community effort, reflecting how spirituality is integrated into everything they do. And in the workplace, the professional market still poses immense challenges for Muslim women in many societies. While they are making strides in fields like healthcare, education, and even technology, they still face obstacles such as gender segregation and underrepresentation in leadership roles. Yet women in countries like Malaysia are showing how religion and professional ambitions can coexist, becoming examples for the entire world. Speaking of which, did you know that Muslim women are excelling in software development within the tech sector? Many startups in Muslim countries are founded by women, breaking the notion that this industry is exclusively male-dominated. Fascinating, isn't it? A Saudi researcher developed an app that combines artificial intelligence and sacred texts to help other Muslims better understand their religion. These innovations are powerful examples of how technology and faith can coexist impressively. Here's another curious point. Some women joke that being a mum and a professional means juggling with one hand while holding a pot of hummus in the other. This demonstrates that even in cultures with significant challenges, humor is a powerful tool to navigate daily life. After all, laughter is a universal language, and light-hearted resilience is part of their strength. We cannot overlook the transformations brought by the internet and social media. In recent years, many Muslim women have gained visibility as digital influencers, using their platforms to challenge stereotypes, educate others, and even bring laughter. TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube have become arenas where these women discuss fashion, cuisine, and more serious topics like mental health and Islamic feminism. Who would have thought the burqa would make an appearance in viral makeup tutorials? Now let's dive into something both funny and symbolic. In some cultures, women gather after iftar, breaking the Ramadan fast, to share stories. And guess what? Memes. Yes, even the internet has become part of traditions. There's even a term, halal humor, for comedy that adheres to religious principles. At the same time, wit and intelligence remain sharp. Have you heard the famous phrase, hijab doesn't hide bad moods, be careful waking me before prayer? Another fascinating fact is how fashion has been revolutionized recently. Western brands have recognized the purchasing power of this audience and now mass-produce modest fashion. Anyone who thought hijabs were limited to basic black will be surprised to find even LED embedded hijabs for nighttime events. Exotic or visionary, you decide. And of course, globalization has opened doors for cultural collaboration. Imagine a halal burger with Arab seasoning served with an extra portion of curiosity. It's in this balance between the traditional and the contemporary that we see how the world is connected. This reminds us that cultural differences aren't barriers, but bridges for learning and growing together.